Hi, this is Dieter for SiteManager.io. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use SiteManager's design panels to change the CSS properties of your website components without coding. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do when we want to start designing our website is switching from content view to design view. In content view, when you hover over the elements, you will be able to change the content of the component that you are hovering over, while in design view you will be able to change the style of the components that you're hovering over. In the previous two videos we used grid and flex to lay out our components. In this video I'm going to show you how you can style or change the CSS properties of every element of your website. SiteManager uses 3 levels of design using the atomic design principles. On the first level, you have the global style sheet, which we have discussed in our previous video. So here you can change any property, any style property of your elements that you will be using inside your website. On the second level of designing, you can change the style properties of your components. This can be layout components like this navigation bar or footer, or page components like the ones that we created in the previous videos. For example, this text has the global style sheet properties attached to it, but if we want to change it for this component, we can override it by simply clicking it and opening the design panels on the left. We're going to explain every design panels or the majority of design panels later in this video, but for now, let's just, for example, go to text properties and change the font color to light blue. We can save and close our panel. The third level is instance styling, which is only available for page components. I will show you with an example why and how this works. Page components are reusable components that you can add multiple times on the same page or on different pages. So for example, if I'm gonna re-add our grid components to this page, you see that we have 2 identical components and the styling, like the blue text that we changed earlier, is the same for both. But let's say that I only want to change the style for this instance of the component, meaning that I only want to change this to apply here and not to any other appearance of the component on the web page. To do that, we hover over the component and we click this button here, Create Instance. This button is to open the design panels like this, and this button is to create an instance for this component, and this is what we're going to do right now. Click Create Instance, like so. Right now you have the same design panels opening up, but this time we're going to make changes that are only applicable to this component. For example, if I return to the text and change the text properties, I will change the color to a darker blue, and as you can see, it's only applied to this component and not to the one on top. When you click Save and close the panels, you will see the difference. For the rest of the video, we no longer need this component, so I'm going to delete it. There are many ways how you can open the design panels for a specific element. The most easy way is that you just hover over the element and click on it. For example, when we hover over this header 1, it says click to style element. You simply click it and the design panel will open up with all the properties you can change. Another way how you can do it is if you, for example, if you cannot click on the element, is simply go to the style button right here when you hover over any element. So if I'm going to style and click this button, you will get all the properties for this component, and you will have to click the header 1 that we're looking for right here, and we can start changing it as well. You can also open the design panels when you are in the design editor. So for example, when we open the design editor, you can click on the header 1 block and click the style element button that will open the design panels as well. For layout components, you can also open the layout panel and click on the style button next to the element that you want to change. Now let's go over some of the most common used design panels and how you use them. In this example, we are going to click the banner or the background for our grid component that we built earlier. And here you will see already some of the most common used options. You can change the background, you can change the border, you can change dimensions, you can change the visibility, transform your component, or change the position. For example, when we want to change the background, you simply click on the element that you want to change, in this case the background. Here you can see all the options that you have. You can drop shadows, inner shadows, change the background color. To use a property, simply click the plus button or click on the panel right here and it opens up. And here you can see the property that you can change. Right now we can change the background color of our elements. So for example, if we change it to dark blue, this is what happens. You immediately see what's the changes that are being applied, and you can change the opacity. You can change and set a color for every different breakpoint that we have. It has a breakpoint for standards, for big screens, for tablets, and for mobile. So for example, if we go to the mobile view of our website, we see that we don't want a blue background for our components, so we're going to change it and switch it back to white. You can save, refresh here, and close the panels. Let's go back to the banner settings and go over the other properties. Border, where you can change the rounded corners, so the border radius. You can add a border to the entire object, to the top, bottom, left, right, or create an outline. Dimensions is a property that you will use a lot, where you can set the width, height, the margin, the padding of the component, the minimum maximum width, the minimum maximum height, the content overflow, or the stacking order. For visibility, you can set the opacity of the components or the visibility entirely, like hidden or not. Transform will change the transform properties of the element. And what position you can set the object to relative, absolute, fixed, static, or sticky, and you can also change the top, bottom, left, and right properties. Another style property that you will probably use a lot is the text property. So we already showed it with this header 1. When you click it, it will have text properties. And here you can change the font family, font size, font weight, font style, font color, text align, text line height, letter spacing, word spacing, text indent, text transformation, text overflow, text decoration, and text shadow. So this is a property that you will use a lot as well. The animation settings is something we will show in the next video. You can also have advanced settings with before and after, and this will be in a separate video as well. A final property that you will use a lot is for buttons who have a hover condition. So when, for example, we click this button in the menu right here, you will see that you can change the default properties, but you can also change the hover properties. So this is how the element is styled when you hover over it. And you also have a special setting, the hover transition, where you can set the transition effect, which element, which property you want to animate, and for how long you want the animation to last. The design panels generate CSS that's compressed and page speed optimized when published. Also, the entire design system, including the design panels, are open for developers to edit. I hope you have fun designing your own websites. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video.